Hello. Welcome to a new series, and it's called Healing Mother Earth. And guess what it's about? Healing Mother Earth. Yeah. So I was inspired to share with you a series of videos, which I'm using a very structured approach. Normally, I'm very like freewheeling sort of, but I want to bring through a structured approach because I would like to share with you the knowledge that I've gained from my personal journey of self-healing, healing my own psychology, and translating it to something which affects so many people, particularly young people, and our concern is with the climate and climate change and the drastic place that the earth is in currently, when we're looking at natural disasters and climate change with the temperatures rising and so on. It's putting a lot of stress on our bodies, and it's putting a lot of stress on the planet. And the approach we've been using so far it's not worked. Simple as that. So what I'd like to share with you is that, and also that it all seems like it's incredibly beyond your own one individual's control to be able to do anything. Like, you look at sort of from the the material perspective, and you can see, like, the impact that mining and forcibly taking so many resources from the earth and everything, like, it's just having such a negative impact and draining. And being able to do anything about the companies that are doing this, like, it is beyond an individual's ability. It's in the hands of very powerful, wealthy people. So I'm here to say that, while they seem like they're powerful in that sense because they've got money and they control money and they control many, many people, we actually, every single one of us has this incredible power that's just, it's our inherent gift. It's our birthright. So a part of the journey, well, a huge part of the journey is actually coming to discover and to learn how to wield your own power. And you'll discover that in finding your own sense of peace and power and freedom and so on, you will have a very positive impact upon the environment. And the more people that do it, the collective, then the environment's going to reflect that back to us. But in order to, for this all to make sense and why I'm talking this way, I need to share with you some knowledge, because knowledge is power. And the knowledge I want to share with you, it's relating to how the world is how this world was created, and what our role in it is as human beings. So where shall I start? Well, first, before we go any further, if you see yourself as separate from other people, or separate from the environment, or I also call it like the elements or the elementals, then, or even if you don't even see yourself as spiritual, then it's not probably going to resonate with you, what I'm about to share with you. You don't even have to call yourself spiritual, though, to to run with this. But it really helps to accept it, because it will give you more power. And by accepting that you're a spiritual being, you're saying, I'm more than my brain. I'm more than this physical body. I'm a higher consciousness than that. My body's not controlling my mind, I can tell you that much. I'm a consciousness beyond that. So yeah, you're under no obligation to keep listening. So just, you decide what's best for you here. Right. So I'll start by sort of explaining that the Earth, it's a schoolroom, it's a planet that has been created for human beings to come and to experiment with our consciousness and to grow and develop ourselves. Okay, it's not just a home, a place to live. It's a place that is designed for us to grow and to become more, to work our way up the cosmic hierarchical ladder. Um, so, in every person, in every being, there is a sense of purpose. Whether or not we ignore that or not is another question. But, I think somewhere deep inside everyone, we do need to feel like a sense of purpose of why we're here. So, in understanding who you are as a life stream on Earth and what you're designed to do, then this is like the first step in the knowledge that I wish to share with you. So, we are beings with consciousness. We are creative beings, and we are self-aware, and we have free will to do with our consciousness whatever we want. Now, when you look at the Earth right now, there's a lot of very negatively wielded free will where people are not really that aware of what they're doing. Some are very deliberately impacting negatively upon the world around them, and others do it quite unconsciously, like, just through almost like through an ignorance. So so we have this awareness, and we're designed to take, as it says in the Bible, to take dominion over the earth. So at this point, like many of us, we're just like at the mercy of the world around us, but we can learn by taking control over ourselves and over our own psyches that we can take dominion over the earth. And so it's understanding our place in this. So the elementals, they are designed to outpicture what is in our minds. They are designed to serve human life streams. And the earth, our earth mother, she is also, like, the most enormous elemental, the most incredible elemental that you can conceive of, from a planetary perspective. And she is outpicturing our collective consciousness. So when you look at all the natural disasters and so on, it all makes sense, with the climate and everything, with the temperatures rising and the natural disasters. It makes total sense because, we have war happening, we have human trafficking, there is still so much abuse happening, people with massive mental health issues, people in trauma. It just goes on and on. There's still the gender imbalances going on, So we've got a planet that is totally out of balance at the moment. So the elementals, they are just outpicturing what's going on in our minds. So it's important to make sense and to see that there are 4 levels to our minds, to the bodies that bring us to, that we have while we're here on Earth. And this is all links up with psychology, so it's not like hoodoo guru sort of stuff. It's it's all being understood and translated by sciences and so on. There are 4 levels to the human life stream. Okay, so we obviously have a physical body, and this is what we do. This is how we bring things into manifestation, through doing. We have an emotional body, and that's where our feelings are stored. Then we have a mental body, and that's our thoughts. And then we have an identity body, and that's what our sense of self is, who we see ourselves as. And some people, you can see yourself as, what society sort of says you are. Like, you're a student, you're a teacher, you're a nurse, you're a female, you're Korean, you're whatever. Like, there's all of these external sort of or religious identity and so on. And then there's deeper identities where, you know, we have like maybe a very low low self-esteem, or, you know, we feel like, you know, we've done something wrong, you know, social anxiety and so on. Like there's all sorts of levels of you know, how identity affects us. So there's 4 levels to ourselves. Now, the elemental realm, they reflect exactly that. There are 4 levels to the elemental realm. So there is the highest level, which is fire elementals, and they correspond with the identity level of the humans, of our human life stream. Then there is air, which corresponds with thought. And you even think about it, you know, like thoughts are sort of like, you know, like wind just blowing past, or clouds floating in the sky. And then there's water, the water elementals, and they correspond with the emotional and the feeling body. And again, you know, emotions are very fluid. You know, they've got a lot more substance to them than air and everything, because it's coming down closer to this physical body and so on. So yeah, emotions are very fluid. You know, you can have the explosiveness of anger, like, you know, like a huge waves crashing on the shore, or when you know, with almost like a depression can be like, you know, a stagnant swamp. And, you know, just that sense of peace in the emotional body. It's just when the waters are just beautiful and still, and you've got, you know, the sky and below just reflecting beautifully, like this beautiful balance happening. And that's a beautiful thing with water, is, you know, it always finds balance when it's still. I find it magic. And then, of course, there's the earth elementals, and they correspond with our physical body. It's the densest part of matter, and it's a reflection. So the earth body, and the things we see on the earth, you know, the physical things, they are just a reflection of our physical bodies and so on. So I am going to go into a lot more detail about, you know, each of these elemental realms, the 4 elemental realms, and I'm also going to go into detail about our minds and interacting with the environment, like, so how we can approach this. But for now, this is just like an introductory video to introduce sort of the scaffolding for what the elementals and the elements are and how we interrelate with them. So we are the life streams. We are here to command the elements. If you leave it to the unconscious, if you do it unconsciously, they're still going to take on whatever commands are coming from your mind. But if you can bring that power in and actually realize that, you know, I can bring my consciousness through, they're going to outpicture, we can bring more consciousness to our commands. But it's not about sort of saying, you know, water, take the form of, you know, an ice giant. Like, it's not like that at all. Or, you know, form a water spout for me. Like, it's not like that. It's because they see what's beneath all of that. Like, they're going to outpicture what's really going on, not what some fantasy idea we have in our minds. So, you know, if you're sort of commanding the elements in that way, like, they're going to see right through to the truth of what your emotions really are, and that's what's going to be outpictured. So we'll go into more depth in future videos. So just remember that this is a sequential series. It's going to build up in a hierarchy. So if you miss an episode, make sure you just, rather than watching it, just go back to the one before, so that you've got a build-up happening. Okay, thank you and good night.